Welcome to Cloud-Based Bedtime Stories with Aaron Wanjala. You made it through the day. Get comfortable, close your eyes, and let tonight's story find you. Nothing is paging. We can just read. Tonight, we journey to a quiet valley where nothing waits unnecessarily, yet everything is ready in an instant. This is the realm of Cloud Run. It is a peaceful place of sleeping lanterns and quiet workshops that spring into life the moment a traveler arrives and drift back into slumber when the work is done. Let us walk down the winding path into this valley and watch how it keeps its perfect balance. Chapter 1. The Chests of the Valley. Before we look at the houses and the paths of this valley, we must understand how the workers travel. In this place, every piece of work, every script, and every guide is packed into a small, sturdy wooden chest. In the language of the cloud, these chests are known as container images. Inside a single chest is everything a worker needs to do their job. It holds the tools, the paper, the specific ink, and the rule books. Because everything is self-contained, a chest can be set down on any table, in any room, and the worker inside will find their surroundings perfectly familiar. They do not have to worry about the shape of the room or the language of the host. They simply open the lid and begin. If you bring your own blueprints to the valley, you can pack these chests yourself. But if you prefer, the valley has its own master craftsman who will take your raw notes, written in Go, Node.js, Python, Java, or Ruby, and pack the chest for you. They use the quiet, established traditions of each craft, wrapping your ideas safely so they are ready for the journey. Once packed, these chests are light, portable, and completely independent. They can sleep for days, nested quietly on shelves, waiting for the moment they are needed. Chapter 2. The Village of the Sleeping Lanterns. Let us walk toward the first cluster of dwellings in the valley. This is the village of Cloud Run Services. Each cottage in this village has a single, unique pathway leading to its front door. The pathway is clearly marked with an address that ends in star.run.app, though some cottages choose to hang their own custom nameplates over the gate. The path is protected and secure, managing all the greetings and handshakes automatically, so the worker inside never has to worry about who is approaching. They can receive guests using many different tongues, whether it is the standard greeting, the continuous stream of WebSockets, or the fast, precise whispers of gRPC. Most of the time, the cottages are completely dark. The lanterns are out, the doors are locked, and the workers inside are asleep. This is the state of scale to zero. It is a quiet, restful silence. No logs are burning, no candles are melting, and no resources are spent. But watch closely as a traveler walks down the path. The moment a footstep is heard at the gate, a spark catches. A lantern lights up instantly at the doorway. The wooden chest inside the cottage opens, the worker steps out, and they greet the traveler. If only one traveler arrives, a single cottage wakes. But if a grand caravan suddenly appears, winding down the mountainside, the valley does not panic. In a heartbeat, identical cottages appear side by side along the path. 10, 50, or even 1,000 lanterns ignite in unison, each cottage welcoming a traveler, ensuring no one is left waiting in the cold. When the caravan passes and the visitors depart, the lanterns do not stay lit. One by one, as the cottages become quiet, the candles are gently snuffed out. The temporary homes vanish, and the valley returns to its peaceful, silent sleep. For those who manage the valley, this means they only account for the exact moments the candles are burning. The passage of time is measured in tiny increments, down to 1/10 of a second. If no one visits, the lanterns remain dark, and the valley asks for nothing in return. Chapter 3. The Wax Tablets and the Warning Bell. Inside each cottage, the workspace is clean and temporary. The worker does not write on heavy stone or carve into oak desks. Instead, they use a simple wax tablet. This in-memory writable file system is wonderful for quick notes, calculations, and temporary sketches. But it is a disposable creation. When the guest leaves and the worker goes back to sleep, the wax tablet is smoothed over, completely blank, ready for the next time the cottage wakes. Nothing written on the tablet persists once the cottage closes. To keep their records safe for the long term, the workers know they must send their completed scrolls to the great permanent archives of cloud storage, or write them down in the shared ledgers of a network file system. When it is time for a cottage to close and the worker to rest, the valley does not abruptly snatch the tools away. First, a low, gentle warning bell rings through the room. This is the SIGTERM signal. When the worker hears this soft chime, they know they have a brief, quiet moment to finish their sentence, dry the wet ink, send their final records to the archive, and tidy the desk. Only when the work is neatly put away does the candle finally go out, leaving the room in perfect order. Chapter 4. The Scribes of the Great Ledger. Not all work in the valley involves waiting for travelers to knock on doors. Some tasks are large, solitary projects that must be done in one continuous effort. For these, we move to the next part of the forest, where the cloud run jobs are performed. A job is a task that runs to completion and then stops. It might be the creation of the seasonal tax scrolls, the migration of a library's index, or the processing of a great stack of drawings. Imagine a scribe who must resize and crop 1,000 paintings stored in the great vaults of cloud storage. If a single scribe sat at their desk to do this alone, they would work late into the night, hand painting each canvas one by one. Instead, the valley allows us to call upon an array job. We open 100 identical chests at once. 100 scribes sit side by side, each taking a single painting from the vault. They work in parallel, their brushes moving in a quiet, synchronized rhythm. Within minutes, the entire collection of paintings is complete. Once the last canvas is dry and safely stored, the scribes do not linger. They do not wait for another knock. They close their chests, blow out their candles, and leave the workshop completely empty. The work is finished, and the silence returns. Chapter 5. The Watchers by the Stream. If we walk further down the valley, away from the pathways and the public gates, we find a quiet bend in the river. Here, there are no doors with public addresses, and no signs ending in star.run.app. This is the home of the private, quiet services of Cloud Run. The workers here do not wait for visitors to bring them requests. Instead, they sit peacefully along the riverbank, watching the continuous flow of the water. In the water float small wooden boxes, carried down from upstream. These are the messages of Kafka, the pull queues of PubSub, or the packages of RabbitMQ. These private workers are the silent watchers. Their only job is to reach into the current, pull a box from the water, open it, and process whatever is inside. Because they do not have public doorways, they are incredibly safe from the noise of the outside world. No stranger can knock on their doors, and no uninvited guest can disturb their concentration. Unlike the cottages in the main village, these watchers do not automatically sleep and wake based on visitors. They are a dedicated group maintaining a steady, constant presence by the water. If the river begins to swell with an abundance of boxes, we can manually invite more watchers to sit along the bank. They will work together, steady and reliable, keeping the river clear and the messages flowing smoothly. Chapter 6. The Interlocking Pathways. Though the valley of Cloud Run is quiet and self-contained, it is not isolated. Deep beneath the soil and across the grassy fields run invisible pathways that connect it to the rest of the great Cloud Kingdom. When a worker needs to look up a record in the ancient stone vaults of Cloud Esquil, or retrieve a memory from the fast-moving waters of Memory Store, they do not have to travel the public roads. Instead, they step into the serverless VPC access tunnels. These private, protected corridors run directly from the Cloud Run cottages to the surrounding estates, connecting them safely to the giant fortresses of GKE, or Google Kubernetes Engine, and the steady watchtowers of Compute Engine. Every cottage is also given its own secret signet ring, known as a service identity. When a worker needs to ask the Great Mountain Spirits for help, perhaps to translate a document using the Cloud Translation API, or read a page with the Cloud Vision API, they simply show this signet ring. The Valley recognizes the seal instantly, granting them passage and sharing its wisdom without requiring complex passwords or heavy keys. And as the day turns to night, the master builders in the GitHub libraries continue to draft new blueprints. Whenever a new design is completed, the Valley quietly notices. It gently constructs a new chest, rolls out the new cottages, and slowly directs travelers to the new doorways, ensuring the transition is as smooth and quiet as a summer breeze. The lanterns glow when needed. The scribes finish their ledgers and rest. The watchers keep their quiet vigil by the stream. Everything is held in a perfect, peaceful balance, waiting only for the gentle touch of a request, and returning to the quiet earth when the work is done. That's all for this journey through the cloud. Wherever your clusters reside tonight, may they remain stable, resilient, and peaceful. Until next time, sleep tight until you have to serve your next request.